Good morning, everybody. I don't know about you. I guess you probably feel the same way. Having this meeting to do every day is really a good thing. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, Chris was talking about having a schedule and getting into a routine. So I think this is a part of that schedule. I mean, I'm very scheduled in the morning. But anyway, I've got some very interesting things to talk about today that I hope we're going to explore together. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Go for it, Tony. All right, so I'm going to start with just a couple simple things. Share my screen. Boom. Outlook. Okay, so your job is to communicate with people. Some people have decided that that's not possible, and we are not of that opinion. We know it's possible. The question is, what do we come up with content for? Right? We give you lots. Let's look at this. Lennar Homes. $820,000 in realtor bonus is available. $5,000 realtor bonus on any April, May closing when sold by Sunday 4/19 and closed in Q2 as set by Lennar. And NFC special financing on 63 crazy priced homes of the week. I mean, just that line right there would be enough to post something. Oh my gosh. Special financing on 63 crazy priced homes by Lennar this week. If you're interested, let me know. Post. $1,046,200 in closing costs on 63 homes of the week. That's big stuff. So, I mean, I get all these emails and I don't read them all, and I'm sure you don't either. But if you're looking for content that might generate a lead for you, that's a good one. And then Susie just sent out one from D.R. Horton. Oh, that's not that one. No, I gotta open the attachment. $5% commission from D.R. Horton, $10,000 in closing costs, April 15th through April 30th. That's called an impending event. When you have a deadline to have something done. So another post, and I wouldn't post this on the same day, but I'd say, oh my gosh, D.R. Horton just announced $10,000 toward closing costs if you buy between April 15th and April 30th. And I think we need to wrap our heads around the idea that there are many people who don't like their house anymore. They are dreaming, they're fantasizing about buying a new house, and what an opportunity. Not everybody's lost their job, not everybody has bad credit. So you got to go through you got to kiss a couple frogs once in a while, I guess is what I'm saying. But that's just good stuff to post whenever you feel like it. All right, so that was just two little things. And I want to do a little shout out for Century 21. Mike Ferry yesterday had a broker call, and Mike was making some really nice comments about the work that Century 21 has done to keep their brokers and their sales associates up to date. So I don't know if any of you watched any of this stuff, but we had an agent, I forget his name, but he runs a team and he does 150 listings a year. And they brought him in and he did a whole thing on how he manages his database and what he does with them. And it was just really good. And they'll probably send out recorded events on that. So, you know, we all have a little extra time now. If for no other reason you're not driving around, you can listen to stuff. And I would recommend that you do it. But Mike Ferry had some really good things. And one of the things he wrote down is you can pick up market share in a down market. And then he got a comment on his thing and somebody said, Mike, I've taken 13 listings in the last 30 days because nobody else is working. And that's not you. You are working and you are going to pick up market share as you reach out and talk to people. So I just want to support you to make sure you know you've got things to talk about. And then I have made a change in one of my decisions. I was initially telling people, do not go rush out and try to get houses on the market right now, because that's probably not responsible, but I've totally changed my opinion on that and I'll share it with you. My opinion is that there is pent up demand. The houses that are on the market have already been seen by the buyers that are interested and they're not interested. So if you have new listings come available, they're going to get attention because there's lots of people looking, right? And it's okay. We're going to do a little strategic pricing example today in a little bit after I do my rant on how a lot of people are not working. And I'm going to do my best to not call them out. I think the font will be small enough you won't see. And then I want to ask you a question about what you're thinking. And Chris touched on this yesterday too. What would you change? I think we got to find some meaning, because I hope you believe that the surge is coming and it's going to be big. It's going to be big for a lot of people. That's a good point, Tony. Tony said he wished the builders had said promos without the agent commission info. I will mention that to Amanda. That's a good point. Actually, I think if you go to, I'll get that answer for you. Got it. I think we have to have a reason, a drive, a motivation to take advantage of the amount of work that's coming your way when the surge comes. And I hope a lot of you are looking at your house saying, hey, I really want a pool, or hey, I really want a dock, or hey, I really want this. What would it cost? Do a little dreaming. Jessica, you really want a carport. Get a bid out. Call a contractor, find out what it would take to add a pool to your house, find out what it would cost to add a carport to your house, find out what it would cost to add a driveway to your house, find out whatever it is that you really want to improve your house because you're there so much now. I'm sure there's some things you can do. I want to re-landscape. I've lost a lot of trees. You know, find something that you want that you can't presently have, and let's set a goal to acquire that during the surge. Because I really believe lots of you are going to have lots of multiple deals in a weekly. If you're doing what we're talking about doing now, if you're sending out a little post about Lennar, sending out a little post about D.R. Horton, that's gonna, if you're doing it consistently, that's gonna put you top of mind, and people are gonna start thinking. If you're asking the right questions, like I just asked you, do you want a 3-car garage? Do you want a house with a 4th bedroom? Do you want a house with an office? Do you want a smaller house? Do you want a bigger house? Do you want a she shed? What is it that you want? And start asking customers that too, and you'll empower them to start thinking. So that's what we're doing. And you can buy a new house for yourself too. Perfect. We're upgrading, bought a new house, so Kathleen Long, one of our agents, did too. Cool. All right, I want to get into the topic that I want to get into today, because I'm going to prove the point that you can pick up market share in a down market because a lot of people aren't working. So, and then we're going to go into a real life experience. So for this, I need to share my screen. And we're going to go into Lead Router. Oh, I had one other comment I wanted to make on virtual open houses. My daughter Samantha says, yes, I did see this. The main takeaway is we can place virtual tour links in public remarks, while normally this is not allowed by MLS, though the virtual tours are still not allowed to be branded. All it is, if the sellers do not want the listing to be shown, the property has to be placed temporarily off market, unless the agent is willing to conduct virtual showings via FaceTime, Zoom, Duo, or etc. Or if there's a virtual tour, which they will count as being shown, and no virtual showings will need to take place. Stellar MLS listings may remain an active status as long as there's an unbranded virtual tour attached to the listing, or the property is able to be viewed virtually in some manner via recording or live stream. So just a reminder, because some sellers are being that way, they don't want their houses shown, they got to be temporarily off market, or we have to have a virtual option. I just want to revisit that because somebody asked me about it yesterday. Okay, Lead Router. Okay, so this is a lead I found. An agent called me for help, and on a listing opportunity they got. And I said, heck yeah, it's one of those acre lots in Andalusia. Beautiful home, beautiful property, amazing location. And the agent's in Tampa and doesn't know this market as well. And of course I said, hell yeah, I'll help. So, and then I questioned, so where'd this lead come from? And I want you to see this. It's century21.com office list my property form. So somebody filled out this form and they sent it. And it ended up going to Lisa Kirkpatrick, and she did a great job. And this tells me what happened to the lead. Lead was accepted by phone. It was synced to the CRM. Marked as already done by the agent in Zap. Marked as already done by an agent in Zap. And then this is an expanded button I expanded because it's called Advanced Routing History. So I want to see what happened and how this lead came through. And here's what happened. The lead came through on 4/13 at 8:13 p.m. and it went to an agent, and that agent didn't accept it. So it went to another agent, and that agent didn't accept it. It went to its voicemail. Then it went to another agent, and that agent didn't accept. This is 8:13 at night. Now it's 8:16 at night, and it's leaving a voicemail. And then that agent didn't accept it. And then it went to another agent who didn't accept it. And then it went to another agent who didn't accept it. But wait, then it went to another agent who didn't accept it. Then it went to another agent who didn't accept it. It's now 8:21 p.m. I guess we're all in bed. Then it went to another agent who didn't accept it. And then amazingly, it went to Lisa and she answered it. And she had conversations. She sent him a copy of the listing presentation. That impressed him. And the next step was a preview. How cool is that? Right? Actually, it's disappointing. Diane wrote a contract yesterday and a new listing coming up, working and praying. That both works. No, lead router is following its rules. You guys have zip codes set up in your lead router, which I'm going to have a talk with lead router today, because quite honestly, I don't think you can see these names, which is, I don't want you to, because I don't want to call anybody out. But these are agents that are not engaged and they're not going to be there. I'm going to take them off the list. But here's the real problem with this scenario. If I go home, here's the problem. 242 of you are ineligible to receive leads. So all those agents that got the opportunity who are not engaged are clean on their leads. That means all their leads have been followed up. And they're green. The color green means go. So we have 400 agents, 242 cannot accept. And the only ones that are not that are getting the leads are the ones that don't have any to follow up. The ones that have leads aren't following up, so you're ineligible. So you have to make sure, if you want the rollover type of leads, which there's lots, you have to clean up your leads. So if you're home right now, I mean, there's always things to do. I heard one of my neighbors, I run into her most mornings, and she says, I just don't get it. Some people just don't want to work. And that's true. And she said, a lot of people are saying they're bored. And she's saying, how on earth could you be bored? There is so much to do. Century 21 is pushing out content. We're pushing out content. There's federal aid to apply for. There's leads to follow up on. There's social media posts to do. There's contacts to make. There's just so much. If you're bored, there's something really, really, really wrong. So I just wanted to bring this up because it's really annoying to me as the broker, saying we're generating and people complain. This is going to be, I feel really good about it. This is going to be probably a $2.6 million listing. So 3% of 2.6 million is 72,000 bucks on one lead. If it sells, of course, and if we get the listing and all that type of stuff. But I just want you to put this thought in your head. Every lead you get is the best lead ever until you prove it's not. Every single lead you get. Look at OpCity. They are cranking leads to us right now. I'll show you. Monitor leads, all leads. Last 7 days. Current source. So last 7 days, I'm going to show up to 100. One agent, Maritza was in there. She imported one of her own leads. Century 21, Century 21, Century 21, Century 21, Century 21, Espanol, Century 21, Century 21. All these, this is the last 7 days. Century21.com, Century21. So that's, it doesn't total the number, but you can see on the list. Then some Relo, then some hot pad rentals. Here's Madeira Beach Condo Resort. Here's a homes.com. Here's OpCity, 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 OpCity. If you're bored, there's something wrong, right? So I just want you to see there's life out there, guys. So that is in the last 7 days, 228 opportunities in the last 7 days. That's crazy. I am not bored. I am busy. I agree. And I thank you for spending your time. Okay, so let's do this now. So I'm going to take this lead because I went on the listing preview, which was fantastic. The house is over the top. And it's one of those that's going to be really, really, really difficult to price because there ain't no comps and the market is wacky. So Lisa and I talked yesterday and we came up with a game plan. And I want to share that with you. Matrix. So bear with me. I went to, and this is just an example. It's a house. It's not a, what does Jeff call it? A pool man this game. Blanking out. Everyday people house. It's a special house. It really, really is. And I looked it up. It's 20 years old. So what's your thought when you're doing a pricing analysis on a 20-year-old waterfront home? Well, are the water heaters new? Are the ACs new? Is the roof in good shape? What else? All those things, your old windows, doors, all that type of stuff is going to date a 20-year-old house when you're competing with newer stuff. So I wanted to see, and I wanted to be involved and find out what the condition of the house was. And I'll tell you some of those stories in a second. So I went to Apollo Beach. I pulled every listing over $1 million, and it turns out there's 6. And this is just actives. And we're going to play the game. We're basically going to build a spa right now. So in this market in Apollo Beach, over $1 million, there are 6 houses. One's $1,350,000, one's $1,399,000, one's $1,499,000, one's 2.3 million, one's 3.6 million, one's 5.5 million. And the price per square foot, this is what is crazy, ranges from $316 a foot to $890 a foot. What the heck is that? So you can't even go. So this seller that we met with yesterday had another agent out. And guess what the agent did? It's exactly what we tell you not to do. The seller said, well, what kind of price do you think? And when Lisa first told me about this house, I know the market pretty well. And we just sold 2 houses on the bay. One went for $1.3 million, one went for $1.4 million. So without knowing exactly what this house was, my first thought was, that's not going to be a $2 million house. And so this agent, whoever it was, has the same market knowledge I have and figured the house is probably $1.6 million, $1.7 million. And they told the seller that without doing any research or anything else, I can probably get you $1.6 million, $1.7 million. Wow. The seller said, thank you very much, and threw them out of the house. No kidding. This guy bought the house for $1.6 million 6 years ago, put over $400,000 into the house, right? And the agent did not take any time to do a preview, to do any rapport building, didn't do anything, and spit out a number, which is not what I want you to do. We told him we were going to go back and do a strategic pricing analysis, and we were going to come back, we were going to come up with a pricing strategy, right? So I just want you to see this. So I need 5 actives on my spa, right? Well, here's 6. Throw out one of them. And I'll just tell you a little about this. 1010 panel, that's on my street. It's a brand new house. It's under construction right now, 4,400 square feet. 1005 Symphony House Boulevard is a lie. That house is only 4,400 square feet. They're counting the downstairs room, and I should probably report them for that. And the price is absolutely ridiculous because that house sold for $950,000 and they barely spent $200,000 or $300,000 on it. 1443 Jumana Loop is a canal front home. Not really relevant. I'd probably throw that one out. Bright Bay Court is a 50-foot lot. Very nice house. $428 a foot. 6526 Surfside is a 7,600 square foot house, which is to be built and is a joke. It's going to be over the top if anybody ever decides to build it, but it's not even started construction. So I wouldn't count that one either. And that's $720 a foot. And then some wacko put a house up on Surfside, big, beautiful house, 4,000 feet, 3.6 million for $890 a foot. So how do you pick a price per square foot on a house like this? That's just the actives. So now we'll go back to our criteria. And we're going to change actives to sold. And let's see how many sold. So there's been 4 sales in the last 6 months. So we're selling 0.75 a month, and there's 6 for sale. So you got a long time on the market. And let's see what they sold for. They sold from 219, 255, 286, and 383. So we actually had a closing at 383. So what does that tell you if we're going for an appraisal? You're not going to get much over 383 unless there's some standout features that really add value, right? So you got comps 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 bucks a foot for sale, and you got 383 as your highest with most of your close amounts in under $300 a foot. So now what do you do? So I don't have enough comps to put in 5. Let's go look at, see if there's anything pending. Look pending in that price range. 2, both in Mirror Bay, both under 300 bucks a foot, asking price. So we'll assume they sold somewhere close to that. And then let's also, because we got the room on our spa, let's look at our expireds. Have there been any? There's been 1 expired listing, and that expired listing was 5,000 square feet at 282 a foot, and it didn't sell, and it's on Surfside also. So I would probably tell the agent to put the 2 pendings and the expired in the expired section of the spa, because we're going to do a strategic pricing discussion with the seller, and we're going to have our computer there. We're going to go through and show him all the stuff, and then we're going to take a dart. And we're going to give the power to the seller. See, I don't want you or me to be the guy that goes in and says, hey, I think I can get you $1.8 million. Take foot, insert into mouth. No, you're going to sit down, you're going to strategize. This guy's a big D, very wealthy guy. And here's what he said. You know, I can put it on, I'm a tech guy. I can put it on MLS myself for a flat fee and put my own virtual tours up. I said, yeah, you could do that. But he said, and he says, it's going to be me who sells this house anyway, because I geeked it out and nobody's going to know all the stuff I did other than me. And I said, yeah, but is that what you want? No. Okay, well, why'd you have us out then? We didn't talk about that. But I thought that was just pretty cool. I deaf eared his objection, and we have a pricing appointment set for tomorrow at 1. Right? What did I just do? $1 million, Apollo Beach, Florida. What criteria did I just change? That's bizarre. Now there's 566 matches. Anyway, so that was my story for you. So what do you do when you have no real comps to go by? Yes, Brian. They didn't know what it was. It was just a lead. But like I said, it's the best lead. Oh, I always put the co-op feed in my data pool. You can customize your search results. See. Close this. I'll show you that real quick. Okay. Oh, that's what it was, is all things. Okay, hold on. APOLO. So let's go back to our spa. We're gonna bring out our dart, and we're gonna talk to the seller and say, look, this guy's smoking crack. This guy's smoking crack. This is the highest. There's not been anything over 400 bucks a foot in this town. This one doesn't compare to your house. It's only 3,600 square feet. Yours is 6,400 square feet. This one is about the same. Your best comp. I'm telling you, I know this market. That's a lie. 4,400 square feet is what it was, and they were counting the basement space, so it's not worth anywhere near that amount of money. And this one's newly construction on a canal, so it doesn't really count. So what do you do? 374, 379. Logic would dictate, based on actives, that if you were priced in the 370 range, you'd be good. No, it's not true. You need to consider this house. So let me show you. Google pages open. Okay. This is a little market education, but it's really market study. Move. Maps. So when we think about satellite image, this is what you can do in Zoom rooms, right? So for those of you who don't know, this is Apollo Beach. This is Andalusia, is the bayfront premier waterfront community in town, right? It starts right here. There's a guardhouse. There's 13 lots right here, and they are 1 acre apiece. They're 150 feet wide and about 300 feet deep. They're huge. All these lots around here are 100-foot wide lots and substantially shallower, right? So all your bayfront, they're beautiful. They're all beautiful lots. But when you get to the size of an acre, and these mansion houses, look at them. I mean, they're enormous. The one we looked at was this one. So we went and just basically started asking questions and letting this guy tell us about his house, right? And turns out, this is a 1 acre lot. I don't think there's many places in Tampa Bay you can own an acre of property directly on the bay, looking at Beer Can Island, MacDill Air Force Base, Tampa, St. Pete, and the Skyway Bridge. Just doesn't exist. And in Andalusia, and all the comps we looked at, best case, those are 80 or 100-foot lots. So we got a big pricing discrepancy on the lot itself. Then I asked him about his air conditioners. Guess what he said about his air conditioners? He put in 24 SEER air conditioners. The guy's meticulous about everything. And so I asked him, I said, what does a 24 SEER air conditioner cost compared to a regular, 16 SEER? And he said about 24,000 a piece, and I put in 4 of them. He put 3M film on all the windows in the house. Some of these are 10-foot sliding glass doors, hurricane rated, with 3M film, $75,000 in 3M film on the walls, on the doors. The whole house, it was cute. He kept saying, and you just tell the little girl, you just tell the little girl. And I said, what are you talking about, the little girl? He says, well, I can't say her name. And I went, oh, are you talking about, does it start with an A? I don't want to set up all your Alexas, but so he's got Alexa powering this whole house. Every single light switch, every single chandelier, the sprinkler system, the pool lights, there's 4 of them. The curtain shades, everything that have the microwave is on Alexa. The whole house is smart. The guy is a retired IT guy, showed us his network room where all this equipment is. He's got Sonos speakers throughout the whole house, all controlled by Alexa. What mesh networks? He's got his own cell tower for AT&T in the house. He always has 5 bars anywhere near his property. The list just goes on and on and on. The pavers have just been redone. The roof is original. The pool's been remarcited. The pool equipment's all been replaced. He changed all the toilets. He changed all the hardware. Every faucet is Grohe faucet or better. Every light switch is not the plastic light switches like every one of our houses has. Every one is like a $7 or $8 brass, not brass, but nickel finished light switch. I mean, just attention to detail like nobody's business, right? Yeah, well, Andalusia, for Tony's benefit, not just rolling into a new build home that is not just as smart as well. Yeah, no, all these houses can do this stuff. It's just when you have a 6,400 square foot house, security cameras everywhere. I mean, so here's the deal. It ain't gonna appraise for what this guy's gonna want. But in this particular price range, the likeliness of a cash sale or a buyer with a large cash down payment is very, very real. But the thought is, and this happens for regular people real estate too, when a house is, let's call it over improved, and you try to sell it for more than market value, it's not necessarily wrong. I was thinking, we had a house in Summerfield, badass house. These people decked it out like nobody's business. Oh yeah, it's got a 25 kilowatt home generation system for power backup and stuff. And that's the story of the house in Summerfield. Regular people real estate. The house was, I want to say it was a 225 house, and the seller wanted 280 for it, and we put it on the market for 280. And guess what? we found a buyer who appreciated all the extra features in the house. It makes it harder to find that buyer, but I think in this price range, that compelling buyer that wants a house that knows everything's been upgraded. I mean, the AC system has UV light filters on every vent. And he told us, I don't know if this is true or not, so don't take this to be real, but he said UV lights in your AC system kill viruses, including the coronavirus. And I don't know if that's true or not, but it's a fascinating story if it is. So what do? You run up the flagpole and see who salutes? No, we're not going to make that decision. We're going to go back to the strategic pricing analysis, and we're going to show him that the highest comp closed is $383 a foot, right? And you take his 6,400 square feet at $383 a foot. That's 2.4. He's probably fine with that because he only bought it for $1.6 million, put 200 in it. He wants to move to Cabo San Lucas because his wife's going to retire from IBM. That's it. So what's he going to do? I don't know. And I really don't care if he decides, hey, if that's the highest comp, and that was a 100-foot lot, and I've got a 150-foot lot, that's 300 feet deep versus that 120 feet deep. I got twice the property. That's probably, the lot's probably $1 million anyway. And the 100-foot lot's probably a $700,000 lot. So it's worth 300 more right there. Okay, so we take from 2.4 to 2.7. What's your motivation? I'm not in a hurry. Do you need to sell this one to buy the other one? No, I don't. Okay, and he's out shopping. He's flown out twice to Cabo looking houses already. So that was what I wanted to cover today, is that number one, get your leads in LeadRouter in order, do a mass update and or individual updates. But while you're sitting around, sit on your phone and go zap, 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 zap. Hey, what's going on? Just thinking of you. How's the pandemic treating you? Ding, ding, ding. And when you do a reply, it's going to turn you into red. I mean, into green. And you should go through all of your leads sometime this week and go through everything and just update your leads. Remember, every lead's the best lead you're ever going to get. And time has gone by since you talked to these leads, and their situations could very well have changed. So it's one thing you can do today if you're by any chance bored. One thing is go through your leads. Two, play the game. When your LeadRouter rings, you should have a LeadRouter phone number with a special ringtone in your phone. When it rings, it's an opportunity to take it. So make sure you do. And I just showed you evidence that a lot of people are not. And that backs up my little quote from this morning when I told you that you can pick up market share in a down market because everybody else is working. And I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about everybody else. So you just keep your mind sharp and do what you know to do. And you will be picking up all their business because they're not playing the game. Oh, really? That's cool. Wow, 86 of you online. That's awesome. All right. All right. So that was one. Get your LeadRouter in shape so you can pick up the leads, because if it's going to roll through 9 people before one gets it, that's a lot of missed opportunities for some people that might have liked having a $2.6 million listing lead. That two, remember, you're not pricing houses. You're doing strategic pricing conversations with sellers who are going to make a decision, because that was a big opportunity for that agent who lost that by putting their foot in their mouth and not listening or finding out what the seller thought about their property. And oh, I've got a meeting with Mike Hayjack, our CFO, today at 12:30. The rules have been changing left and right on this thing. I'll get an update from him today at 12:30. Florida, Trump pushed the unemployment thing to the state level. Florida has not written the law yet for independent contractors to be accepted as unemployed. They're going to. They haven't done it yet. So there's no unemployment insurance available right now. I'll get an update on that today. The $10,000 disaster loan turns out is being rewritten. It's not $10,000 anymore. It's $1,000 per employee or something like that. I'll get an update on that today and I'll send it out. And the payroll protection plan, that is eligible, but for the most part, you have to have employees. So if you don't have employees, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be eligible for that one either. But let me get the facts out today after I talk with Mike, and then we'll find out what's going on there. And then in summary, There's pent up demand out there. So if sellers want to put their houses on now, use that line. There's pent up demand. The buyers have already seen what's on the market now, and there's not much. So now's a good time to put things on. 3. I would ask you to think long and hard, not long and hard, think about things you'd like to acquire that you don't currently have the ability to have. And let's use that as a catalyst to get you to do more right now to line up for the surge when it comes. Because there's going to be a point in time where, bam, people will go back to work and confidence is going to be back. And they're going to be doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So that's my note for today. And then we played with the strategic pricing analysis. That's a tough one. There's no book I can say, this is how you do that. But as a sales guy, I can empower the seller to make a decision. And then he's going to give me instructions, not me, he's going to give Lisa instructions on what he wants to do. And then we're going to try it. And if that doesn't work, we'll adjust backwards. But we'll see. There's pent-up demand, and it's really a really cool house. So we will see. And then we talked about virtual open houses. Everybody ought to be doing that. Just reinvest. I mean, if Shannon will come out and shoot the 3D tour, I'd start doing that and start publishing. And Otis brought up a good point yesterday too. Otis said, if you don't have any listings now, then start promoting our listings. You just need something to promote. You know, it's always nice to ask the agent, but none of our agents would say no. You can certainly promote any of our listings if you want to on your social media channels and what have you, but there's no reason not to do something. So, and you guys are a great audience because you're showing up and you're doing stuff. I love it. All right, we're gonna break early today at 9 o'clock. And I got a 10, I'm busy too. I've got a 10 o'clock, an 11:30, 12, and then a 4 today. Crazy. Yes, Tony, I'll do that. Let me see if I can figure it out. When I'm in my MLS, when I set it up years ago, I've got a section called, so what Tony saw on my list is I have a list that shows co-op fee, right? And I look at this, and I will use this as this is an example too. So I can sort by co-op fee, sort by any of these columns. So 3 houses are paying 3% co-op, and 3 listings are paying 2.5. Am I going to make a statement to him? No. I'm going to say, would you rather be paying 3% or 2.5% to attract the agent who's got the buyer? You know, at this price range, it probably doesn't matter too much, but I'd much rather get a 3% commission than a 2.5. So I added this field in here. So display, it's Craig single line. I made this display up. So that's the one I use that has a co-op fee. If I just do a single line display, it's Craig search, agent single line search, there's no co-op fee. So how did I do that? Tony, you're challenging me. Stats, my matrix, context, save searches, send me listing, my listings, my speed bar shortcuts. Contacts, auto email, save searches, send email, my CMAs, my cards. My information is probably just me. Yeah. But that is nice to see on your feed, but you want to pull it out when you send it to a customer, but it is nice to show a seller. Craig single line display. My matrix, probably, we did my information, it's not that. Settings. Hot sheets, custom displays, settings, custom displays, and then you can create one and then you move things back around. So Mr. Rita, go play with that. You'll figure it out when you get there. Manage custom displays. These are chatty today. Do a normal search, click on the top bar of the field. It will give you an option to insert a column. Oh, that's cool. That's good, because I'd have to check that out. If I was sending things to customers, I wouldn't send it with the commission in there. But if you can just add that in, that's a good way to do it too. Okay, let's see, I close the machine. You guys have a great day. I'm here for you. If you need anything, just reach out. Happy Thursday.